If you're a leader, I want you to just think about this. And these are questions that I have thought about on a regular basis. You really have to be careful, and you want to be the best that you can be as a leader. You want to show up as your best. You want to pour into people. You want to help them grow. And so the first question is, how do I lead without mothering? How do I lead without mothering? So our job as a leader is to lead and not mother. These adults have been mothered, they have been parented by their parents, and so our job is to lead. And so we have to make sure that we know the difference, we decipher the difference, that our tone is the right tone. It's not a reprimand, you know that maybe in a way that a mother might reprimand her children. So you got to make sure that you got the right attitude, the right tone when you're leading people, when you're instructing, you're guiding. You got to make sure that you have the right spirit, that you come with the right attitude, that you've thought about this person in the right way, that you see them for how valuable, how important they really are. Number two is, how do I guide without dictating? Two very different things. And to me, it's more about the tone and the attitude and the undertones of what we're saying to our people as we're leading them. We got to make sure that we're guiding gently. We got to make sure that what we're saying in the right way, that we've given it some consideration, and we've given people an opportunity to have space to make decisions on their own, where they can make mistakes and they can get better and they can grow, and not always, and not ever micromanaging, and giving people opportunity, because the people that we hire are smart people. A lot of times they haven't been given an opportunity to think for themselves. We've stood over them, or they've had somebody stand over them for 20, 30 years telling them how to think, what to do, how to do it, instead of telling people this is the result that we want to get. And then you can figure out how to do that. If you need a brainstorming session, if you need somebody to ask you the hard questions, if you need somebody to help you think it through. But as far as dictating to somebody, I think that we do our people a disservice when we do that. So we got to learn how to guide and not dictate. The last one is, how do I coach without interrogating? And so, there's places for hard conversations, right? But we got to make sure that we're giving our people opportunity to think, and we're giving them questions that make them, ponder things over, and not just, asking them questions in a condescending way, thinking that maybe they should know. But I have realized that with leading, that everybody is different, everybody's experience is different, the way they see the world is different, their experience has been different, what they have come from, work experience, life experience, personal experience, familiar has been different. And so we got to be careful that we're asking the right questions in the right way, so that we can get people to think about seeing the light, getting the light bulb moment, seeing that another way of doing it, or how to do it, thinking things through. So we got to make sure that we're coaching and not interrogating. So just some things to be thinking about if you are a leader, how we can lead better. And oftentimes we have to consider our part that we play in leading, and not just the other person is this and this, they won't do the things that we ask them to do, or they won't do whatever. We got to make sure that we are doing our part as leaders, that we're constantly growing, so that we can help our people grow, that we're constantly around them, where we're building relationships, that we're showing that we care, that we're connecting, that we're communicating our expectations, that they know, okay, these are things that are required, and then asking them the hard questions, so that maybe they can have a change of mindset, they can have a change of attitude, they can have a change of work ethic. And so sometimes people don't know because they haven't been taught, and so we have to really consider ourselves, how we can do things better, how can we show up better, how can we treat our people better. And then asking our people the hard questions, asking our people questions that they can think, that they can be gently guided into a direction where they can be independent, they can have critical thinking skills, they can have problem solving skills. So just some food for thought if you are a leader.